I'm Jeff Dorn. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I've been with the Rutherford School District since 1987, and I am their student assistance coordinator. And I work in both Union Middle School and Rutherford High School, which means I work with 7th through 12th grade students. I'm going to be speaking with you tonight about how parents can help their children with stress and anxiety. One of the things that I ask students right away who are coming in with anxiety problems is how do they sleep, all right? Because sleep is a big part of feeling better. If we can get people sleeping better, in most cases we can get them feeling better. It's very rare to find somebody with an anxiety problem or depression who doesn't have some problems with their sleep. So one of the things I often do is train people on how to help themselves to sleep a bit better. And as a matter of fact, there's going to be another videotape on a sleep acceleration technique that will help people to fall asleep more quickly. And so when you get a chance, once that's posted, please check it out and see if that is useful for you. Most people find it very useful. They find that they can fall asleep within 5 to 10 minutes. Once they start practicing the technique that is outlined on that video clip. So I highly recommend it, and it could be part of starting to feel better, right? Which is what we're talking about, managing stress, anxiety, and getting to a better emotional state. So sleeping is key, all right? A lot of people don't realize that sleep basically is your emotional immune system. It's how your mind heals the psychic wounds and injuries that you experience throughout the day. When you go through larger issues like grief and loss issues, maybe there's a death in the family or something like that, how those emotions process over time is at night while you're sleeping. Our sleeping and dreaming is basically why we start feeling better day after day, and when we go through different types of experiences, that you heal a little bit each night. A lot of times you can't heal all at once, but over successive days and you're able to get restful and restorative sleep, you will start to improve and you will start to feel better if everything's working the way it should be working. Okay. So that is an important concept to think about, is that if you can help your kids to sleep better, they will start to feel better. The second thing we can do for children is we can make sure that they're eating properly, all right? Not all diets are equal when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to depression or attention issues. But interestingly, the same diet is recommended for all three of those conditions. A diet that's higher in protein is very useful for managing all three of those conditions. What happens is for diets that are higher in protein, there's a more sustained energy level and there's less fluctuation in sugar level. When you have wide fluctuations in sugar level, what happens is it's harder to pay attention and it is harder to control your moods and to regulate your mood. So that you're much better off with a higher protein diet when you're looking to create both emotional and attentional stability. So these are one of the things that we can do that help. Now they're not magic, but they do help a person to actually feel better. So we can help people by helping them sleep better, by helping them eat better, and then of course the next one is going to be if we can get them to do some exercise. All right, so that if we can get kids exercising, and especially aerobic type of activities, this is something that's going to benefit them greatly. All right, aerobic exercise is the one activity you can do that actually burns corticosteroids, which are the stress chemicals that are released into the bloodstream when you perceive stress. So if we can get kids exercising vigorously with some type of aerobic activity, I will tell you a story that when I run groups in the high school, one of the things that's astounding to me is that when swim season starts, and I have a lot of swimmers in my groups, I notice that their moods elevate very quickly. All of a sudden, they're feeling much better after about a week into swim practice, and that's from that aerobic activity. So swimming is certainly one of the things that I would recommend for people to improve their mood and feeling. All right, running works, treadmills work. Anything that is aerobic in nature is something that is going to benefit somebody in terms of feeling a bit better. And like I said, it's the one thing that actually burns corticosteroids, which is the stress chemicals that are floating around in your body. Another thing that we can do is make sure that kids are properly hydrated. All right, if we make sure that people are properly hydrated, then we get better brain function. All right, water is responsible for how waste material moves out of the brain, well, how nutrients move into the brain and how waste material moves out. And that if you're properly hydrated, you have better brain function than if you're dehydrated. So it's important to make sure that someone's drinking enough water, and they tend to be less crabby when they're properly hydrated as well. People tend to be in a better mood when they're hydrated than when they're dehydrated. So we want to try and make sure that people are drinking enough H2O. The next thing we can do for people is, I do recommend this, I kind of learned while working at a hospital, that frequently it is a good idea for people to take a multivitamin. The reason being that multivitamins contain usually B vitamins, and all of your brain chemicals, enkephalins, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, acetylcholine, are all constructed out of B vitamins. So that if you keep the precursors of those brain chemicals in your body, then what happens is you have an easier time producing them. And in addition to that, if you're someone who takes medications for any type of condition, the medications seem to work better if you are on a multivitamin. That's been reported to me by many clients over the years. And so while I don't have the science to back that up, I would just tell you anecdotally that that is something that has been told to me, that medications work better when you're on a multivitamin. So that's another suggestion that I can make to you that may help in terms of your children managing stress and anxiety. I'm going to be doing another video which is going to contain a sleep acceleration technique that is very useful and learning how to fall asleep more quickly. I encourage you to check that out when it comes on, and I thank you for your time and attention.